mellow yellows. I don't like those drinks.
Those are toxic for the body. Mountain Dew and Mellow Yellow are disgusting.
I enjoy Mountain Dew. Oh, my dad's hand, the one I had attraction to, David, he drank Mountain Dews. The one that wore cut-off shirts and his arms would get so muscly in the sun. And he always smelled like cologne and Marlboros. To this day, I think that's why I like the smell of stale cigarette. He died in his trailer house of an overdose.
Oh,
Why did she drink Dr. Pepper from a can? That's how Aunt Peggy says you get lupus.
What?
That's what Aunt Peggy says. You've got to drink Dr. Pepper from a cup, not from a can. You get lupus.
That Reality Gaze does not endorse that.
That's what Aunt Peggy said. They wanted me to do Oklahoma Kids, but you had to pay a fee. And my mom said, "Oh, we're not paying money for you to join a club to sing." And so I kind of took on a snobbier air for it, that I was too good to be in Oklahoma Kids. That was what I adopted. But I was jealous that it was kind of like they would all sing solo things and then do a show choir thing together. It was really big. And then Pam was married to Coach.
Young Americans.
Yes. Maybe Oklahoma Kids was part of Young, because they had outfits.
On a lower budget.
They would learn dances when they were singing.
Yeah, sounds like Young Americans.
And it stopped because Pam, who taught me piano, but she wasn't very good at piano. She would she was a terrible teacher. But anyway, I remember going in her trailer house of her and Coach Roberts to take lessons. But this is later in
piano in a trailer.
Good question. It was upright. It wasn't a grand.
Let's move on.
But anyway, no, I was just going to say, in Oklahoma Kids,
it's my fault.
all went away is Coach had an affair with my first grade teacher, Miss, and it was a big hoop-de-doo. And parents left town after that. After they got divorced, and I showed up for my piano lesson, didn't even know she had moved, didn't even tell me. And then so Coach Roberts had to come out and told my mom, well, she left me. Just stood there with I loved it. My purple little Hal Leonard book that was level 4. I just looked at it and thought, well, I guess I'm not going to use this.
So that ended your piano lesson.
Yes, it was like in 5th grade. I never took piano again. My dad did this one year on his plumbing truck on CM Plumbing. Like, they had people dress up as Mickey Mouse, and they had people in like mascot costumes as Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. And there was a
Did they even look like the...
Well, they kind of did, but it's like you could tell they bought them from like a cheap international website, and they didn't have the rights. So it looked like Mickey if like part of Mickey's face melted just a little bit. And like,
yikes.
And like Donald Duck, you know how Donald Duck's bill?
It was an actual Howard the Duck costume.
Yeah, basically. It kind of was, because you know how Donald Duck, the bill curves up, kind of,
yes.
And it looks smiling. I remember the Donald Duck, the bill was kind of turned down, kind of like a large dick.
Blunt and unhappy.
And so Donald Duck just looked angry.
Yeah, he kind of normally does.
And Goofy, I guess the way they got around the rights is Goofy had... You know how Goofy has 2 front teeth? You know, normally?
I'm very uncomfortable. I'm disturbed by these.
Well, my dad dressed up all his hands, and all of his hands dressed up as these characters for the Christmas parade.
Why does it feel wrong to me?
No, I could show you. I'll have to look. I could show you all the pictures. I believe, if I remember correctly, Goofy didn't have 2. Goofy just had no teeth. So he looked like Goofy had meth.
God!
And then Goofy had really long ears, like longer than they should be.
But why was it necessary to have these characters? This is Christmas.
Why kids love them.
Why can't they just dress up as like Frosty the Snowman?
Well, because kids love Disney. They want to make the children happy. And you know what? CM Plumbing won the parade costume the contest that year. Sang a lot of Alan Jackson at Lone Grove Days. A lot of it.
Lone Grove. I'm gonna regret this.
What?
What is Lone Grove Days?
I told you Lone Grove Days was at Sullivan Park. It would be because July 4th, we'd have July 4th, but usually, I can't remember if it was before July 4th or after, but we would celebrate the birthday of Lone Grove. So... It was great. They would have, they'd have watermelon seed spitting contest. They would have a talent show.
I'm really sorry I asked.
I mean, I don't like to brag. I won it to the talent show too many years. So then after that, they just asked me to MC. So, and Sean even said, couldn't you have pulled yourself together though to go to the wedding?
Oh, how could I?
Mona said, I was bawling for 2 hours straight. What am I supposed to do? Just go to a wedding crying? And I went, yeah, people just think you're happy. That's what my mother did at my brother's senior graduation. I thought she was crying because my brother was graduating. No, because my father told you I'm leaving you in 6 months. So she was sobbing.
Oh, my God.
Well, he wanted her to get ready and prepared. Then Mama Mar turned around 3 months later and said, I'm already prepared. Get the fuck out, and kicked him out.
I'm glad that you weren't your mother's support system during all this.
No, I didn't help my father pack at all.
What was special about the founding of Lone Grove?
Well, it was actually Theron Price, who was a substitute teacher. I think his grandfather founded Lone Grove. I think there was something like, Ardmore used to be as Aunt Peggy and Aunt Darla said, you know what they called Ardmore years ago? Little Chicago. I think they told you that. And
they did and told me about the organized crime history of Ardmore.
Well, come to find out, that Little Chicago rumor is true. People talk about it. I should have brought it up. I was on a podcast with my friend Laura Tremaine on her show, and we talked. She's from Ardmore, and we were talking about it. But
get back to Lone Grove, please.
They don't know, but Caddo Street and all that area was just outlaws, whorehouses. It was right on that train depot, right on the train stop. It was wild and woolly, and apparently something about Theron Price had an unpaid debt, and back then. He got out of town. But back then, riding a horse 15 miles west was a long way. Nobody's going to find you out there. And so he rode out west, saw a lone oak tree, just one of them, and
But that's not a grove.
Exactly. It should be called Lone Oak.
Your whole town is based on a lie.
That's what we always heard. It could be, but so basically he saw one tree. It's a lone grove, and that's where we got the name.